Hi, welcome or welcome back to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Maria Andrea. This is the weekend review video. Let's just get right into it. I usually start these videos with highs and lows, and I'll start there as usual. Highs. So I hadn't posted in a while because the last couple of weekends, the last couple of weeks of the month of October were actually really busy for me. I guess what I can say in summary of the highs of the last couple of weeks since my last weekend review video was that I've had a lot of family time, which is really great. It always happens that, like for the stretch of the year, things I don't get to see my family as much as I would like, and um, it's been like every week we have a family gathering or a family thing. Um, and so that's been really nice because I've been seeing my family very often, and that's wonderful. Um, Not this weekend, but the previous weekend was my husband's birthday, and we were out of town for his birthday, and that was fun. It was nice to get away for a little bit. We went to Houston for a couple of days in like a kind of like a couples um, weekend. We went with another couple um, for like a little couples retreat kind of a weekend, and that that was fun. But I did miss doing my usual things, hanging out with my closest friends in Houston. I didn't get to see her, and um, I didn't get to go bookstore shop. Like bookstore shopping, book shopping. I have a couple of bookstores I love to visit when I go to Houston. I didn't get to do that. So it wasn't about me, it was about my husband and this couple's weekend, fun weekend celebrating his birthday. So we we stuck to the plan. And so it was a lot of fun. Lows. The lows are that Booktube has not been on my side. I've started 2 vlogs and ended up deleting them. One I haven't deleted yet. I started it, haven't done much with it. I'm probably going to delete it, but I'll start a vlog and then I just feel like I don't have much other than sitting in my car during my lunch break, talking about what I'm reading or what I'm listening to on audio. That's been like this kind of videos, like footage that I've been recording in my blog. And I don't know that you want to see me in my car all the time. I haven't really, I have done some fun things, but maybe I'm too much in the moment. I don't really pull out my phone to record. Um, I'm still not used to that, I guess. So I haven't done very good with vlogging as I'd wanted to. I think I had set myself a goal that by the month of November, I wanted to feel more confident with vlogging, and I wanted to try to do a vlog this month coming this November, but um, I don't know. It hasn't worked out. I've been deleting the vlogs that I start. And this video, for example, I recorded on Sunday night and I edited it, but I just felt super tired in the video. Maybe it's daylight savings time, the time change. Instead of feeling more rested, I feel more tired. Um, and I just felt like I looked really, really tired in the last video that I recorded yesterday for my weekend review. So all in all, it hasn't been a smooth and productive um, attempts here to record for Booktube, but I am just wanting to come on and say, like, I'm trying and I'm thinking about my friends here on Booktube, and I want to create content to continue to communicate with them. Um, so let's talk about community posts. What have I posted? I haven't posted much other than I posted a post about an interview with Jorge Ramos and Isabel Allende. I think Isabel Allende is a fascinating writer, and I reposted that or shared that post, that video, because I think she's just super interesting. I always enjoy watching her interviews. Another really great interview that she's given is for the podcast Wiser Than Me with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. That's probably one of my favorite interviews with Isabel Allende. I also posted like just a life update on my community post. This last weekend, I recently posted about the Books and Bocadillos book club pick for the month of November is The Distance Between Us by Reyna Grande. It's a memoir, and this is why I picked it, because it's nonfiction November. And I'm really excited to start this book this month. And I also posted something I just learned about. I just learned about No Sew November, and it's a junk journaling challenge, and I'm so into it. So I shared a video because I thought it was a lot of fun, and I was looking for some activities to pair with my reading for a Booktube event that I'll talk about in a little bit. But just so you know, November, it's hosted by my friend Kat at the channel Curious Cat, and a lot of I created a bingo card, and some of the reading prompts pair with activity prompts. And so I was looking for activities, and I saw that Meg from the channel Meg Journals had posted this junk journaling challenge, and I thought this is a perfect activity to pair with my reading for November. So I'm super excited for that. So that's why I posted that. I've done 2 tags in the last couple of weeks since I last posted my week in review. I posted the Rule of Thirds tag, and this is a tag that was created by my friend Sui at the channel Sui's Book Banter. And this tag was a celebration of Sui's 3rd Booktube anniversary. I also posted a trick or treat video, which maybe wasn't so popular. I think I was a bit controversial with my mentions of books that are tricks, that have been tricks for me. But c'est la vie. Sometimes unpopular opinions must be shared. So it is what it is. Currently reading. I am reading the Vampire Knitting Club. I am so close to finishing. I think I'm like 80%, 80 something percent into the book. I was actually really trying to finish it before coming on here to talk about what I'm currently reading. The Vampire Knitting Club by Nancy Warren is a really great book. I cannot wait to finish it. This was a book recommendation by Evita from the channel Evita Lecturitas. She recommended this book a couple of years ago for Cozy Ween, and I bought it then, and I had it on my Kindle shelf for a while. So I got into it for Cozy Ween, and I'm so happy to almost be done with it. I already know that this is a book I am going to highly recommend to one of my bookish friends here in my local group of friends. Her name is Katie. To shout out to Katie if you're watching. She sometimes watches my videos. If Katie is watching this video, The Vampire Knitting Club is a book I'm gonna mention to you next time we sit and chat about books, and I think she would really enjoy it. I've also been thinking about Gina from the Library Mouse. Gina, if you're watching this video, I think you might also really enjoy The Vampire Knitting Club. If you haven't already read it, but if you have, let me know what you think about it. But I was thinking about Gina from the Library Mouse, Gina, while I was reading, and thinking if I'd recommend her a book, I think it would be a good pick for her. I am also almost done. I was also really hoping to finish this before this weekend review video. Los Monstruos, Felice, and the Wailing Woman by Diana Lopez. This is such a fun, Halloweeny kind of story. It's a spooky story. It's about these misfits, these kids that are misfits. Their parents are monsters or like, yeah, paranormal creatures. Um, that spook people and have really bad reputations, and these kids are the children, and so they don't fit in, and they're kind of dealing with what it means to have parents that are hated or disliked or really like misunderstood or not appreciated or judged, and so they find each other and they help each other. They help Felice find her mom. Felice goes on an adventure to search for her mom, and her mom is La Llorona. So if you're familiar with La Llorona, um, then you know what it's about. But if you're not, La Llorona is a folk tale frequently told in Mexican culture, and it's one of those ghost stories that's told um, in the middle of the night. Sometimes like you're sitting outside and you're just telling ghost stories, um, kind of like El Cucuy, the boogeyman. So sometimes you hear like La Llorona. It, I don't know. There's a lot of lore about La Llorona, but the story goes that this woman, um, there's a couple of versions of how the story is told. Some people say that this woman drowned her kids, and it was kind of like a murder suicide, drowned her kids and then drowned herself. And then some people say that this woman lost her kids and her kids drowned, and then as a result, she went in to go rescue them or look for them and ended up drowning, but her ghost lives on. Her spirit has not been able to rest, and she walks through the night usually by the river, um, calling out for her kids and crying. And so Felice, our protagonist, um, finds out that her mom is La Llorona, and she embarks on a journey to find her alongside her friends who are also misfits, and they're called Los Monstruos. If you liked The House on the Cerulean Sea, like that kind of vibe with those kids who are like misfits, like that kind of vibe with these kids that are like a little bit paranormal, a little misunderstood, a little like I don't want to say weird, but just different. Um, this is kind of that kind of feel with those kids, but it's a really sweet story of friendship and family, and it's been really fitting. It's really fitting like the time. In the book, there's a mayoral race that's the talk of the town. And in my little town, there's a mayoral race that's the talk of the town. And we are like nearing, I mean, we've been in like um, the early voting season, and now tomorrow is election day here in the United States. And so I still haven't voted. So tomorrow I have to go to the polls. But as I'm reading this, there's this build up to this mayoral race and the mayor and who's going to be the new mayor. And that's kind of like the same thing that I'm hearing in my real life. So that's been an interesting mirror. And it was Halloween. So there's all like, you kind of hear about these different things like La Llorona, um, El Cucuy. Um, and I've also been reading other books about La Llorona, so it's been interesting just to kind of have this middle grade version. This story of Los Monstruos, Felice and the Wailing Woman, is a middle grade story, and it's such a sweet story. But it's funny to see this middle grade and how it reflects more mature adult themes in other books. I'm also almost done. Well, not almost done. I'm maybe halfway through. Made some progress with Guilt and Ginataan by Manansala. This is book 5 in the Tita Rosie Kitchen Mystery series, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm also still working on Solito, and this book is a book that I'm taking slow. I'm listening to the audio, but I can only listen to fragments of it at a time because it is really tugging at my heartstrings. Hi, it's the next day, and I am coming fresh-faced, no makeup. I was just trying to figure out what happened to my video. Thank you to Kat and Ellen for letting me know that there was something that wasn't right about my video. It cut off at the point where I was talking about Solito. So hopefully I'll just kind of pick up where I left off just to finish off this video. That this is the third night that I work on this video. So just want to finish. So hopefully there's a payoff to perseverance. So I'm still reading Solito. I was talking about the books that I'm currently reading, making progress with. I started The Distance Between Us by Reyna Grande. And this is the November selection for the Books and Bocadillos book club. I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving this memoir. I picked it because it's a memoir for nonfiction November. And I'm absolutely loving this book. I haven't gone to Discord to talk about it there yet, but I can tell you that I think this is going to be this is a very well written memoir, and it's such a good memoir. So I can gush about this forever, but I'm really happy that I'm really happy that I picked it and that I am finally reading it. And I am also starting the Cider House Rules. So this week, the group read started last week on over the weekend on November 1st. I am just starting it. I'm kind of alternating it with what I'm currently reading. So I know I talked about a book that I'm currently reading, and spoiler, well, I'm not going to mention it because this was supposed to be my weekend review from last week. So as of last week, this is what I was currently reading, but I just finished one of the books that I mentioned just a few minutes ago, and I now have some free time to be able to put on the audio for the Cider House Rules, and this is a group read that I am doing with a whole bunch of amazing booktubers and people in this booktube world, subscribers and friends of booktubers, and I'm just really happy to be a part of this conversation. Now, the books that I've read, I think this is the best part. I can report back and say that I read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and this was also a group read that I participated in with Pat from the channel Book Chat with Pat, whom is just always a great friend and great buddy reader. And for the very first time, I had the opportunity to read with Lecton, Alan, and Gareth. And I'll link their channels in the description box. But I'm really happy that I got the opportunity to read with y'all. And thank you so much for including me in this buddy reading, group reading experience. It was really good, and I had a really good time. And I'm happy that we had that Zoom call at the end to debrief our reading experience. I think for me, I was kind of in the middle. It wasn't a bad book by any means, and it wasn't a life-changing book. It was just a solid, good reading experience, and I'm glad that I finally read Project Hail Mary. I also buddy read The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, and this was a buddy read with Melinda from A Web of Stories. And I was telling Melinda in our conversation on Voxer that I think the next step for me in my Shirley Jackson journey is going to be Shirley Jackson's nonfiction. I've read her short stories. I've read We Have Always Lived in the Castle is my favorite. Now I just finished The Haunting of Hill House, and I'm ready to go into her nonfiction. I know she has there's either a memoir or biography. I think it's a memoir. And there's also a collection of letters that Shirley Jackson penned, and I really want to get my hands on that collection. I've seen it out in the wild at bookstores, and every time I see it, I pick it up and I wish to have it, but then I always talk myself out of the expense, thinking, oh, it's a luxury item. I'm not going to read it right this minute. But now I feel like that's kind of where I want to go next. I want to dig into Shirley Jackson's life and biography. And I love biography. I love nonfiction. So I think that's where I'm headed next with Shirley Jackson. In the month of October, the Books and Bocadillos book club pick was Queen of the Cicadas by V. Castro. I finished this book finally. I nearly DNF'd it. And what helped me decide to persevere was that I ended up watching some author interviews and some book reviews on Booktube. And that gave me the encouragement to finish. Also, Crystal from Fiber Artsy did comment in my Discord that she really liked it, so I thought I'll persevere. And I did, and I'm glad I finished it. I'll be sharing my thoughts about it. I'm working on a visual that I want to use for a video in which I compare Queen of the Cicadas to The Haunting of Alejandra, both by V. Castro. I read The Haunting of Alejandra for my In Real Life book club at my local indie in the month of, well, I read it in September, but it was the October book club pick, and we just had a book club meeting and we talked about it. I really liked it. I really liked The Haunting of Alejandra, and I want to talk about it. So I want to kind of compare, one was a hit and one was a miss, and why was one a hit and why was one a miss, and I want to have that discussion with you. So I'm working on a visual to kind of help me be able to show you my thoughts and kind of like how I'm seeing the two books and how they're comparing in my brain. So I'm working on that. I was working on that last week, so hopefully I'll be able to record that video soon. I also finished Ramona. I'm buddy reading this with Sui at Sui's Book Banter, and we were supposed to take it slow, but I ended up getting a hold of the audio and I played it during a commute, and I ended up finishing it. So I haven't discussed it with Sui yet because we just started it and I got ahead of myself. But I'm probably going to go back and reread some of the sections, just because, you know, when you're listening to an audiobook, sometimes you maybe miss things. So I'm going to go back and do some rereading of Ramona. I also read The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury during Halloween week, and that has become a Halloween tradition. I reread The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury every Halloween for the last 3 or 4 years, and I really enjoy it. It definitely kind of connects the two Halloween with Dia de los Muertos. So as I'm preparing for Dia de los Muertos in the midst of the Halloween of life, it kind of helps connect the days together. And also in The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury, I always think back to It by Stephen King. That group of friends reminds me of the group of friends from It. And I know that's probably the only thing, it's these young boys who are such good friends, and they're you know, they're up to shenanigans as young kids are. And well, this book takes place on Halloween night, and these kids are getting ready to go trick-or-treating, and one of them goes missing. And so the boys are trying to find their friend Pipkin, trying to figure out what happened to Pipkin. And they go on this kind of like paranormal, fantastical kind of journey. And it kind of feels like it, in part because of the friendship group of it all, but also like A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, where you have the main character go on this like paranormal dreamlike journey where you're wondering like, is this real or is this a dream? And are they just gonna wake up and find out this is a dream? Very like dream and dreamy and dreamlike, and um yeah, it's an interesting tale. I really enjoy it. I also finished Carcoma by Layla Martinez. I don't have very much to say about this book. Maybe I'm still thinking about it, not deeply, but maybe it's just kind of still soaking in. So I don't have anything to say about it, but Carcoma is Woodworm. So it's Woodworm by Layla Martinez in English, but I read the Spanish. And I also finished Kitchens of the Great Midwest, and this was the book that I started vlogging. So I mentioned before that I set out a project for myself. I've been recommended 3 books by 3 different Booktube friends. Nick from Dr. Cranky Pants Reads recommended Kitchens of the Great Midwest earlier in the year. My friend Ellen at Ellen Made Book Club recommended The Townsend Family Recipe for Disaster by Shauna Robinson, and also earlier in the year. And Melinda, my friend Melinda from A Web of Stories, recommended You've Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Agweka Emezi. And all 3 of these Booktube friends said that they thought that I would really love these books. A lot of it because I love food and I love food writing, and I love a strong sense of food in books. And I think they all mentioned that that was a thing in these novels. So I started the project in October with Kitchens of the Great Midwest, and this was the blog that I started that I ended up deleting. I am going to read these 3 books and then come back to you in December and tell you about my reading experiences with the 3 books. So Kitchens of the Great Midwest was a book I finished in October. I will be reading The Townsend Family Recipe for Disaster by Shauna Robinson this month of November, and You Have Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Agweka Emezi will be the book I read in December, and I will come back and tell you all about it. I haven't DNF'd any books and community events. I'm participating in Nonfiction November. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the 4 words that Melinda posted. I really like that she did that. I'm going to try to see if I can use those words, put them to good use, and try to maneuver them somehow into my reading. But I don't know yet. Don't know yet because I have some things I want to read. I mentioned Shirley Jackson, nonfiction, and I'm also reading the Books and Bocadillos book club pick, The Distance Between Us. That's a nonfiction book. And I might have some other books in mind. So I'm going to see what is fitting with those words and see how I do. But I'm not forcing it. I'm just hoping that it all fits in beautifully and without having to like overdo something. I want to try to keep things simple and easy. I'm participating in Dr. November, and this is a reading event that was created by Mark at Book Time with Elvis, and I'm reading Havana Fever, and I'm also reading for Indigenous First Nations people a month here on Booktube, so I have some ideas. I'm probably going to read some short stories from Never Whistle at Night. I had a book here. Don't know if I showed it yesterday when I recorded it, but I have this collection of poetry and short stories edited by Cynthia Latex Smith. This is Legendary Frybed Drive-In. intertribal stories. This was a book I pre-ordered. It was published this year, and I pre-ordered it, and I was so happy that I did. It's a YA anthology. I love YA, as y'all know, so I'm hoping to read some from here. The contributors to this anthology are Gaua Mahoe Adams, Marcella Bell, Angeline Booley, who's an autobi author for me, K.A. Coble, A.J. Eversole, Jen Ferguson, Eric Gansworth, Byron Graves, Kate Hart, Christine Hartman, Durr, Karina Iceberg, Cheryl Isaacs, Darcy Little Badger, whom I love, David A. Robertson, Andrea L. Rogers, Cynthia Latex Smith, and Brian Young. About Angeline Booley. Angeline Booley is also like an author, and I've been trying to read Warrior Girl on Earth. That's a YA novel. It's the second novel following her debut, The Firekeeper's Daughter, and she just published a new book, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. But I'm telling myself I cannot purchase this because she's auto-buy for me. I cannot purchase this book until I finish Warrior Girl on Earth. I haven't started it. It's one of those books that I always say this is on my TBR, my pile of possibilities, and I never get to it. It happened with Yagas. It's happened at different times when I think this is when I'm going to read this book, and I don't get to it. So I'd like to get that read. My friend Kat is doing November, and I am thrilled. I have a bingo card. So I was so excited. I created my own bingo card, and Kat has all the prompts, and it's so detailed and beautiful. Like, it's just such a passion project for Kat. And I was like, okay, how it can sometimes when events are so detailed and so have so much thought put into it, it can all feel overwhelming, and because you want to be all in, and I want to be all in, but I don't know, like I felt like I needed to adapt some things, and I needed to make it kind of fit my brain space and my mood reading and kind of where I'm at with everything. So I ended up creating a bingo card, and I saw that Ellen also created a bingo card. So great minds think alike, Ellen. And I have the books that I want to read, and I'm pairing them with the activities. So the beautiful thing about Kat's prompts is that you can, it's not just books that you're reading, but it's also kind of sometimes things that feel like self-care. It's sometimes things that slow you down or that are fun, that are not reading or book related. And so I was trying to create a bingo card that kind of made it all come together for me in my own special way. And I think I'm almost done with it. I had some activities that I was trying to figure out, but it all came kind of full circle this weekend when I saw that there was a No So November junk journaling event happening, and I'm all in for that as well. So I'm going to pair some of my reading time with some of my journaling time, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's also a cryptids read-along or readathon. I have always been saying I'm going to read Mongrels by Stephen Graham Jones, and I haven't gotten to it. So I know it's probably not full on cryptid, but it's maybe cryptid adjacent. So because it's a book that I keep talking about reading, I'm kind of putting it out there again as a book that I want to read that also pairs well with Indigenous Peoples Month, and I want to be able to read more stories. I mean, I read them year round, but also want to be more intentional with those books this month. And finally, my friend Angelia from the channel Read and Reread has this reading project that she's doing, in which she's reading 60 books before she turns 60 next October. And the book pick for November this year is The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. And this book is also on my TBR. I have been talking about reading this book. I've been looking at it. It's been sitting in my ebook reader. And when she said that that's the books she was going to be reading for November, I was all in for that because I really want to read The Memory Police. the podcast that I wanted to share that been talking about is home cooking with Samin Nosrat and Rishi Herway. Excuse me. So home cooking is a lot of fun, and I love the two hosts, Samin and Rishi. And a really cool thing that's also happened this year is that Samin published her new cookbook, Good Things, which I've purchased. And I've been meaning to do a cookbook corner video because I want to talk about Good Things by Samin Nosrat. And in home cooking, in one of the recent episodes, Samin talked about a recipe that she created for the New York Times cooking website, and it's the butternut squash and green curry soup. And I made that a couple of weeks ago when I had my family over. I made baked mac and cheese, like a fancy bake. It's like a tray bake, like a casserole dish, and with the panko on top. It was so decadent, so rich and creamy and vegan cheesy. I really, really loved it. So I made mac and cheese and I made the soup, but I overdid it on the ginger. So I'm going to post a recipe. I followed the recipe, but for me, I think maybe my piece of ginger was too chunky. I don't know, but I would recommend maybe going lighter on the ginger because it was really spicy. We were able to eat it and enjoy it. My husband really, really loved it, but we do love spicy food. My mom said it was a little too spicy for her liking, but she was able to eat it. I mean, she said it was good, but she said I overdid it with the ginger, and my brother ate it and he loved it. But he likes spicy too, so I think it just depends. Some people, my sister-in-law could not eat it because it was too spicy for her taste. So it just it's just one of those things where it's probably best to go lighter on the ginger. Not everybody likes a spicy soup, I guess. And what am I looking forward to? I am looking forward to the Texas Book Festival. There will not be a weekend review video this weekend because I will be in Austin for the Texas Book Festival. That's another reason why I really wanted to get this out and posted, because I wanted you to know that I am not being chiflada. I'm not just not coming to talk about what I'm reading. I am going to be at the Texas Books Festival, and I cannot wait to come back and tell you all about it. I'm excited about a couple of workshops that I want to go to, and I am so excited about one in particular that I just cannot wait to talk about. I'm super jazzed. Anyway, that's all that I have to share. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry for the edits that didn't work. I actually didn't edit my last video from yesterday, which goes to show I should have watched the whole video before posting. And I had said that I was going to tag all these people, but I feel bad because I've tried to post this video 3 times. One time I actually posted and I tagged all the people, and I don't want to be I already tagged them, and then the video wasn't complete, and I don't know, I'm feeling kind of embarrassed about it. So I'm just gonna keep it simple, y'all. I'm so sorry. I will do better next time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a friend, my friend, a friend of the channel, a friend in the comments. I really appreciate everyone who leaves a comment and stops in and watches my videos. Thank you so much. Hasta la próxima.